That was a rewind instead of a volume change. Okay. Anyway, we're good. Saturday morning, here we are. And we've got 6 people on the screen and 4 viewers. Two of the people on the screen here aren't watching the stream. Okay.
Watching that in real life.
That's it. We're watching in real life. Yes, it's a. G'day, X. How are you going? I'd love to know how to actually pronounce that. How would you pronounce that? Nihilo. I just call him X. Sure. These names, the obvious has a meaning somewhere. He's probably a gamer somewhere. And Mark in Thailand, he's not in Thailand. He can't be in Thailand. He's in Australia, isn't he? Yeah, we've got a full house today, except for you don't have a Mark here. Get Mark here. Go on. Too slow?
Yeah.
Good morning, everybody. We're sort of people just rocking into the house as things just pick up. Oh, we've got 8 watching now. There we go. 9 watching now, so people are just getting out of bed. And this week in Thailand, I was only going to change the name to, because what's that, this week tonight, there was a Saturday night live, chat program. Who was it? I can change this one here. This week today. Last week today in Thailand.
Last week tonight.
Yeah, that's right. Last week tonight. I'm not as good as him. I'm not going to imagine myself that good. But yeah, we're going to just cover the things that happened this week here in Thailand, of course. The fiasco that has been the Public Health Ministry overruling, the mandate which is written in the Gazette and making their own decisions for Thailand, which I thought was quite funny. And I didn't even think they had that sort of power to do. I know that there is this emergency decree going, but what they were doing was a bit of a step beyond what they were allowed to do. Anyway, we'll get onto that. We'll just wait for everybody to get here. So what else is happening? What's happening down in Australia, in Adelaide there? Kimbo?
Oh, well, we are still in a freeze wave compared to you guys. So it's cold, it's overcast, it's, time then you get to sleep in. So my body just said this morning, you're going to sleep till 11. So after the week I had, my body just said, hey, wake up at 11. So
wake up at 11.
I'm just fresh out of bed almost, so it's good. It's I got the pep in me, the first morning pep, and then the rest of the day to go. So it's good.
Mm-hmm.
It's good to hang out with you guys this morning. So apart from that, it's just usual business in good old Oz. So nothing new.
Good. And Robert Groves has joined the team, and
Hey.
Thailand Paul. We didn't see him yesterday. What happened to you yesterday, Paul? Why didn't you turn up the meet-up, slacker? But anyway, to each their own. And how's the radiation? How's your first week of radiation gone, Robert? Feeling worse for wear, or have you got any superpowers? You're turning green. We need a new Hulk. Roo, Hulk, smash. But you look like the Brady Bunch. Yeah, anyway, so, and of course, for the first time, Victor's been here a few times before, but he's decided to actually sort of crawl out of that cave in the background there. Was it an ice cave, is it? Are they ice caves?
Yeah.
Yeah. Whereabouts you?
Television set, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I don't know.
It looked like an ice cave with a couple of floating icebergs.
Yeah, it's hard to tell what it
the
is.
icon.
Anyway, whereabouts are you? Where are you based? You're in Florida, aren't you?
Yeah, that's Florida. I'm a New Yorker, moved to transplanted to Florida.
Yeah, okay.
And the rest of the country here is in a heat wave.
Mm-hmm.
So we're experiencing in different parts of the country 105 degrees, which is
Wow. Okay, so Robert sort of said, yeah, first week over, no problems, feeling good. That's good news.
Yeah,
And Paul's excuse was he was sick. Well, did you get? We want a sick note. Okay, next time bring the sick note. Ice Station Zebra. No superpowers yet, but hoping they'll come in. Yeah, okay. I heard the superpowers only work if you have the extremis gene, or if you actually have that the little nanites that they've given, put those injections. So the radiation actually turns the nanites on. So if you've had your 3 or 4 injections, the radiation will turn those nanites on, and then that's it. You get your superpower. But yeah.
Don't have that. I've got to get this. The Stargate Atlantis ancient gene.
Oh, do you? Okay, right.
I got that.
It's probably a lame superpower.
Yeah. Yeah, I know it is. You know, like all these superpowers, they can be really sort of quite benign sometimes. Oh, look, the Streamlabs thing is working. See, it did. It did the thing. The Streamlabs thing's worked. You can send us the tips and the joint. That's a positive. Yeah. I don't know. Do you?
Up yet, so.
I see it on there. So that's test number 1 is done. It's all good. That was the thing we were testing today. We thought we were going to blow up the whole stream with. We had no testing done whatsoever. We just plugged it in, suck it and see, and it looked like it worked. So there you go. There is a whole bunch of games. Don't ask me how to play with it, because the bot is the bot. Exclamation marks is probably something like a, you can have fun with this shit when you can work it all out. I have to get a set of rules. So exclamation mark, I've got to do up here, haven't I? Exclamation mark, help. Is that it? No, that's obviously not one of the words. Cody's going to do some research in the background onto all the commands for Streamlabs CloudBot. Then he'll work out how to make it run while we continue with the stream. Shannon, how you doing, Shannon? Yes, I like to turn down the lights and pour a nice Cabernet and turn on my nanites. Oh, okay, right, okay. Okay, so what else have we got? When we do some more testing with this thing, I've actually got to run the bot twice, because when I actually do the dual streaming into the gaming platform for doing the gaming content, I've actually got to use the bot twice, one for the YouTube and one for Twitch. But that's not a test I'll do later on the day, probably, or tomorrow. I can't get Star Citizen to run, Cody. It's crashed now 4 times on startup. I think I have to do
Have you done the usual?
I have never had to do it before, but I think this time I'm going to have to delete my user folder and got to remember all the stuff I got to. What am I going to fucking pull out of my user folder?
Yeah, I heard some people have that issue. I haven't tried it this morning. I slept in.
Yep. Okay. Now, the way that bot works, it should be every 10 minutes, and the amount of how much chat's on screen and how many people have typed in the screen and all that sort of stuff shouldn't bother us too much. But anyway, but there are some links there. The link I've got to put in, of course, is the link to join the stream. For those people who don't know how to join the stream, the link should be in the actual description box of the video anyway. Yeah, there it is. It's in the first link on the description box in the stream. You'll find a link to join the Discord. So it's all good. Anyway, moving right along. Yeah, so what do we wanted to do? We wanted to talk about these articles, didn't we? So let's have a look at them. There we go with that. Right. We don't want to look at that one. That's the end article. Yeah, so this week in Thailand. Actually, Todd put it on. Good on you, Todd. Yeah, so I
am awake.
That's it. This week in Thailand, I'll get rid of the ads. This week in Thailand, we had a real fiasco of bullshit coming out of the health ministry. So, as you know, the legalisation, it's not legalisation, the decriminalisation of the cannabis plant here in Thailand, right, has gone through with very, very little resistance as part of one of the mandates of one of the leading coalition party mandates to make this happen here in Thailand, obviously for financial and other reasons. And nobody was prepared for it. We all knew it was happening. the public knew it was happening. We've been following it like for the last 3 months, and since February. I think we went to I did a video in February when we had the expo there in was it Siam Paragon, wasn't it? Yeah. And even then we knew it was going to be legalised, right? But for some reason, all the politicians have been sitting with their sitting on their hands for like 3 months or 4 months or whatever, and done nothing else. Now they're having to draft a new legislation, obviously governing the use of this now decriminalised herb, right? But what the health ministry has gone and done is they've gone and sort of like thrown their spanner in the works and sort of said, no, we're going to move the plant into the control herbs list. Unfortunately, that has to go through due process, but they've done it without due process, and it's caused a whole bunch of shit to go on. Anyway, let's cover the article. So, Thai weed dispensaries arrested. So what they did, the police started, I think, on Wednesday. I think I heard it. No, was it? What? Yeah, arrests started Wednesday, didn't they? Tuesday. That was
Tuesday evening.
Tuesday. Yeah.
That was 27th. What was the 27th? 27th was Wednesday, yes, okay. And so what we had was the police running around Wednesday, shutting all the shops down, supposedly taking people into police stations and then charging them with nothing at all, supposedly. This is what we sort of anticipate. Nobody's really telling us what happened. But so caught a lot of people off guard. A lot of these dispensaries. Where is it? None of the orders pertains to consumption. People are still free to spark up their stash as they were before, regardless of their reason. In fact, the main credit with leading the legalisation is the health minister, blah blah blah, promised yesterday that weed would not be recriminalised. So he's holding his ground on this. We're not going to see a reversal, and I'm pretty sure the government's going to have a pretty hell of a time trying to reverse it now. The cat is out of the bag. What they're trying to do is they're just trying to put a ceiling on it. No schools, no children. Keep it out of mainstream. Leave it sort of off the mainstream.
Public consumption is still illegal. It's just you can now sell and buy.
Public consumption is, but they can use that same law for people sitting there, with cigarettes. I'm sorry, it's a public nuisance. They could actually use that same law for cigarettes. They could use it for. I think that's the law that they use for.
Again, it strikes me as in Thailand they have the laws, but the enforcement of depending on the law, the enforcement is more of a we will use this tool if there's a problem. If there's not a problem, it doesn't seem that they will use that tool. Where I live, I walk past, and ever since weed has been legal, I've smelt weed. Every time I've gotten past a certain area near my place. And
have you? Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Yeah. So I mean, I think it's if there's a problem, then you'll be charged with it. But if there's no problem, you won't. But it kind of depends on the type of law. Anyway.
Yes, good mate. Feeling great. Back home for the weekend. Going back Monday. No side effects. 5 weeks to go. Yes, good. Anyway, so this is we did the video for the dispensary. Not quite accurate information there. The dispensary moved online. It's an online service now that you can purchase from. They didn't shut their shops. They actually shut down a week prior to this thing happening anyway. So, but yes, pretty much Thursday there was nobody selling for the whole of Thursday. Was pretty much the outcome. So they started shutting people down on Wednesday. Most wouldn't open their doors on Thursday. The ones that did open their doors on the pretext of the fact that they had the right to do so under some sort of license agreement, which we'll get to next. I don't think I need to go through too much of this article. Police to seek clarity. This is what we're getting. Nobody's got a clue what's going on. Business as usual. And here's the actual thing here. Ministry of Public Health grants Royal Thai Police authority to conduct prosecutions against illegal cannabis sales, but confusion reigns. The Minister of Public Health has issued urgent letter to conduct immediate legal prosecutions. So what it turns out to be, these were the 4 licenses that did exist. So what they've done, they've moved moved cannabis from where it was, or it came off the narcotics list, and it's basically sitting there. It's actually not listed anywhere. So they've now put it onto the controlled herbs list, which is the protection from promotion of time. Yeah, this is the section. Does mention the list down here. But anyway, so what it is, there's 4 particular licenses that are out. You can actually get a license to study cannabis. That did exist back in when they created this thing back in 1999. There was one to even export cannabis back in 1999. There was a license to sell marijuana back then, even though it was illegal. And there was also those who did not ask for possession to possess cannabis for commercial. Yeah, so there was a commercial license as well. So these 4 things. Now one of the shops that I've been talking to, and the guy on Facebook, Ash, they actually do have a license, and their license comes under the export provision or something, I think he said it was. But they got that years ago in their business, which is weird. People have been preparing this for years, and the politicians are the ones who just don't have a clue. They're so far removed from the general public that they're supposed to be governing that they've got no idea what's going on. Anyway, and again, sir, the order does not forbid the use of cannabis, so private smoking possession is still legal. The order is essentially using the 1999 Herb Act to control the sales and distribution of cannabis, citing that permission needs to be granted for relevant agencies, which I think in one sense we look at it, it's a smart move when you start to think about it. The kids have been accessing this stuff for eons, as part of growing up here in Thailand. It's not new, but having it in your face brings new people to it, which they don't really want to have that sort of sudden influx, if you know what I mean. But anyway, these licenses, I was quite surprised to see they were only worth 10 to 20,000 baht. It's not as if there was a license to sell alcohol or something,
Yeah, actually, I'm curious. What is a liquor license worth in Thailand?
Oh, they're worth millions. Do you want me?
Yeah.
I'll Google it. It's worth a lot of money. Yeah, I know, because that's one of the things. So you see all those what do you call it? Craft beers have been trying to break into the market, and still they have to make the stuff over the border and then suffer import duties because they're not allowed to make it here, from what I understand, or they've got limits to how much they can only make 1 or 2 vats or some really weird. Anyway, that's a discussion for another day when I find out more information. What I could of course, cannabis permits, licenses, and official official permission do not exist per se, to the fact that the final cannabis laws are still being drafted. So this is like a temporary solution on top of these. Yeah, it's weird. Anyway, so that happened. That was just that was still on the 20th. That was in the morning. That was 8 hours later. Then, of course, we have Health Ministry withdraws the demands for the punishment of cannabis abuse. Well, because what can they punish them with? To the police, so the deputy permanent secretary for public health said on Wednesday, and wrote on the traditional national police office, asking police to take legal action on unauthorised cannabis. In the latest development, The ministry withdrew the letter and said it would revise the content to avoid adversely affecting many people. The request for legal action should target only those who use cannabis flowers, he said. So what they need to do, this Herb Act, they need to make adjustments to the Herb Act that it only has listing the flowers as opposed to the whole plant. So that, oh my God! People should be allowed to use the cannabis roots, stem and branches and leaves, etc. Details that we will conclude next week. And of course, to go along with the things, this is the 28th, this is Thursday, which was, Royal Thai Police baffled by pot memo. They've got no clue, they're just running around like blue-ass flies. It is a joke, it really is. As a result, its usage is being regulated under Section 46 of the Act, and police officials are authorised to take legal action against four groups who fail to seek permits. They compromise to carry out research, yes, so they need these permits. But it's all about, that's really all we can tell you about it. Public Health Ministry has rescinded its recommendation. So what was happening Monday? The whole thing was upended Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and now it's come around to Friday, Saturday, and it's as it was before Monday happened. This is what happens in Thailand. We love it. I don't think there's something else in there, just basically the articles confirming it. Now, the problem of widespread use of cannabis, particularly for recreational purposes, stems mainly from the fact that cannabis was decriminalised on June 9th, before the narcotics law was amended to govern its use. The amendments bill is still pending in Parliament. To solve this problem on a temporary basis, the Public Health Ministry has decided to classify the cannabis as a controlled herb, and that's the thing, it's really weird. I'm pretty sure that's the thing that they're dealing with. They don't have the right to do that without proper due process. But this is the sort of same thing that happens in time. Anyway, as of today, or one day ago, okay, the following decriminalisation plants, Thai government 29 has designated cannabis and hemp as controlled plants, legalising them for medical purposes. Food and Drug Authority removes cannabis extracts containing blah blah blah. It is essential to note that smoking cannabis in public is also prohibited, with violators potentially facing jail sentences of up to 3 months and fines of 25,000 baht. The new cannabis policies also permit its production and use expressly for medical and health purposes. Importing cannabis, hemp extracts, hemp-derived products, or any cannabis, blah blah blah, is also illegal. Which is the one that was the thing that stood out to me, because every one of these dispensaries, the next video that comes out is also, we did 3 dispensaries, and they're all saying the same thing. Local product, there's a complete, what they call void. Pretty much no local product exists in the plate because it's all been sold out. They've only got imported product. Where'd this imported product come from? Jerry, did you bring it with you?
I wish I could have.
Where'd it come from?
That would have been a good idea.
Well, you can't import it, so people must be bringing it in through the airports or something, because it can't come through imports, can it? It's illegal. Where'd they get it from?
Well, they've recently opened up most of the border crossings, haven't they?
Maybe.
Fly out there in the ointment.
Yeah. Obviously, it's coming through in the tyres of trucks or something. I don't know. Illegally. But anyway, so a lot of the stuff, the high price stuff, the stuff we're seeing for 800, 900 per gram, that's 900 baht per gram. That's all supposedly imported. How they're importing, and nobody's got a clue where it's being imported from. They won't tell us. Even one guy joked about it. But anyway. So that was where he is. But the article that really interested me, so where are we? We're into 25 minutes into the... So this is an article that really sort of stood out for me today. So before we get into that, let's just... everybody's chatting amongst themselves as usual, and Pod's keeping them amused. Good. Alcohol licence in charms worth 1,000... What? Alcohol licence in charms worth 1,000 baht per year? Own restaurants
They
and
have to do a
pubs.
down payment first, but I could be wrong. But
Mhm.
that's the official license. It's not the visiting inspection costs.
Oh, that's a license to sell. That's to sell alcohol.
Yeah.
What about to produce alcohol and all that sort of stuff? Yeah, I think the big
That
that
might
was
be different.
yeah.
But yeah, but that's the base license to get that certificate you put up on
Yeah, okay.
the wall. But then you've got the inspection fees
Right. Yeah.
that
Okay.
go on throughout the year. So
Mhm, yeah,
I
yeah,
think
yeah.
that's where the higher cost comes in.
Checked out the flights recently. Most things are illegal until you pay so. So true. Okay. Anyway, so this is something that's I look as before we start on that, I said at the beginning. Sometimes you come across articles that just resonate with your own personal bias, and this one here resonates with my personal bias. I have to completely admit that. But 25th of January article of 2022, something personally I felt that I've known for years. Active ingredients in cannabis protects aging brain cells. Salk researchers find cannabidiol preserves mitochondrial functions and prevents oxidative damage to cells. Decades of research on medical cannabis has focused on the compounds THC and CBD in clinical applications, but less is known about the therapeutic properties of cannabidiol, which is CBN. It's another little acronym people are going to have to remember now, right? Now, a new study by Salk scientists show how CBN can protect nerve cells from oxidative damage and major pathways to cell death. The findings published in January 6, 2022, blah, 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 suggest CBN has a potential for treating age-related neurodegenerative diseases like Alzheimer's. We found that cannabis connects the neurons and oxidative stress with cell death, two of the major contributors for Alzheimer's, says author Pamela Ma. A research professor and head of Salk's too many words. The discovery could one day lead to development of new therapeutics for treating the disease and other neurodegenerative, like the Parkinson's disease. Yeah. But like I said, if you've been smoking the plant for 30 years, you've already been getting access to all these CBNs. You've got to take the thing as a whole medicinal product. Stop splitting it apart. God made it one way, or evolution made it one way for our benefit. You're going to take the whole thing or not at all. Don't forget the phylofactors when you make your... Anyway, I just thought it was a good article. Do you want a copy of these? You can have a read of the article yourself. I'll give you a copy of the article. There's that. Have a read of that. Anyway. Yes, it resonates with my personal bias, and the fact that it's a youth drug, keeps you young. Anyway, enough articles for today. What else is going on? I don't want to make it always.
I had the visit this week.
Oh yeah, Todd's had a fun week.
Yeah, I won't go into everything, but I read online a couple of times, and I don't know whether it's popped up in the chat a few times, that when you lodge your TM30, which is your immigration notification of where you're living, if you aren't part of a Tavian barn, and technically immigration are meant to do a checkup, and I've read a couple of times they do spot checks just to make sure that the information they have on file is what you applied with the TM30 application. And I was busy trying to organise stuff. I was up and down chatting with Waz on Wednesday, and the doorbell rings and go downstairs. I'm thinking to myself, I haven't organised a delivery or anything. I get a visit from the Honourable Royal Thai Police. They started speaking Thai. I understand a little bit, but no. They were put. And then I explained I lived here, I'm renting, blah blah blah. Oh, okay. Then they brought out forms and everything, and you sign here. I said, no, not signing until I read it. You know, blah blah blah. Had to go back inside to get the phone, everything like that. 5 minutes of discussion in Thai and my broken Thai, trying to work out what was going on. They're just doing an immigration check, just making sure their TM30 database is up to date. And 5 minutes into the conversation, he switched to pretty good English.
Mm-hmm. It's interesting how they do that as well. I find that funny. They'll try to store for first 2 to 3 minutes. It is oh, okay, you don't speak Thai, do you? And then they switch.
Well, I don't know whether it's they wanted to test me or whether, and it's something that most of us have discussed is that it's the face value thing in the Thai culture that they don't want to sort of embarrass themselves to try and speak English if they don't feel confident enough to do it.
Mm-hmm.
But I think I broke the ground trying to speak as much Thai as I could to help him understand. And after about 3 minutes talking broken English, broken Thai, he just said, "No, everything's okay. We just wanted to make sure that what we had on the list and everything like that was fine." And the security guard from the Moo Barn came over to make sure I was okay, which I thought was awesome. And then just a photo of me in front of my house. And
Well, they did selfies. They did selfies with you, or what?
they did selfies with me.
Yeah, they do. That's really weird. They do that. I always think they're so amusing. But yeah,
That's strange, though. I've been here 4.5 years, and I have many friends through the meetup group. First time I've ever heard that story.
well, I knew they were doing it in places like Pattaya and Phuket, right, before COVID, but this sort of went by the wayside. And like as I said to Todd on Wednesday, I said I'd been here for coming up to 6 years in September, and I've never seen them visit me. And we've had 2 locations, this house and the other location. But then again, as I sort of said, I'm not always here, and Mother's here, so they could have come round, and Mother could have just said, "Well, he lives here. Bye bye." I don't know if they've visited. They never tell me anything.
The interesting thing was, I'm thinking in the back of my head as I'm trying to convert my English to Thai to try and have a good conversation is, I hope he doesn't ask for my passport to check my visa and everything like that. Because I got to say, this heads up to Australian Embassy Bangkok. I sent you 2 emails over the last 8 days. Do you mind responding to just one of them so I can find out where my new passport is?
Mm-hmm.
Please. There we go. Sorry. Yeah, I still haven't heard when my replacement passport is going to be available for me to pick up.
Yeah.
So that's my next thing. I've got to go back to Thai immigration to get the visa removed from one to the other and get everything all sorted and organised. So, yeah, it's just one of those things. I'll send another email across the weekend. Hope they respond on Monday. So.
Yeah. Anyway, I just wanted to say a quick hello to Colton, since he's just dropped in there. G'day, Colton. It's his first time he's caught the stream. He knows about the stream. It's the first time he's caught it. Hey. Yeah, that's a question I got about the TM6. I can go to my passport just over here, and I can open my passport. There's my TM6. It's a prerequisite to your 90-day check-in. It's a prerequisite for your renewal of your fucking what do you call it? The visa, or your visa extension they call it. So those people coming now and they don't have TM6. How do they deal with it? What's happening to people on long term? It's okay for these tourists, but we had long-term stayers coming over. Anybody recently come over, potentially long stay, that didn't have the TM6 and had to do a 90-day check-in? What happened there? That'd be a good question. Just throw it out there.
Robert's put a comment up.
Yeah.
He's never seen immigration visit anybody at home on a retirement visa. Different story if you're on a marriage visa. But yeah, I remember when I was doing my research before I came over, Mayor Groves, that yes, it doesn't matter what visa you're on. It's a by law under the TM30 situation that they can do spot checks on hotels, private homes, etc., to ensure that the TM30 is reported and the information is correct. So, but I have to say, no issues at all to have that done. So, nice we got the spam bots back.
They're now subscribing to your channel just so they can it's amazing, isn't it?
No, I just accidentally blocked the Streamlabs. Sorry.
Did you? I don't think you can do that.
Yeah. Oh, like hit the message. No, it doesn't matter. Yeah. So Grovesy, it is a thing that they can do, but he was fine after we got through that language barrier type thing, and so I asked him about 4 times, twice in Thai and twice in English. Is there a problem? Do I need to help something? And he said, no, all good. He just wanted to check all the information's correct. So actually don't mind that. It just means they're doing things. So.
Yeah, I'll be finding out about the insurance there when it comes to my renewal as well. I knew that was going to happen. I thought that was already in place, but I believe the policy I've got is just going to be adjusted, and there'll be a price adjustment involved somewhere. But nothing to worry about. I do want to actually look at that policy, so we can actually increase or actually decrease the what they call it, the co-payment. They pay more than me, so. And actually increase the limits on it as well. Still keep it within the adjustment, or we still keep it legal for the retirement visa, but have it a bit more of a proper health insurance coverage. They've been there for them for 2 years already. They should be able to do something.
Well, Todd, it's a good thing you weren't smoking pot.
No, that's I'm not partaking in that particular recreational activity.
No.
Not. It's not something that, I mean, I don't, it doesn't stress me if someone's smoking it next to me. It's just
Whatever.
something else. So, yeah, each to their own.
I'm just saying, if the police
No,
showed up at your door and they said, "Oh, what's that odor coming out?"
well, there would have been a bit of grey area, because technically I can have it, but I think the other side is if I had plants growing and I'm not registered, I can't grow plants as a foreigner. I think you have to have a Thai citizen at your place who is registered. So,
not that I've asked who's actually done the registration in our family. I think his mother's already put it in. She's the one who's registered on the government's website as being grown, because she wants to use it in cooking as well. So, but that's life. That's what we're doing, isn't it? So Bessie was asking about October, so I'm just quickly flicking through August, September, October. The days in October, we've got the 7th of October is a meet-up, we've got the 21st of October is a meet-up, and the 4th of November is a meet-up. How does that sit with you, Bessie? I saw him flick through there at the moment. It's going to come down to the days, but I'm sure if we can't work out one of the meet-ups, we'll work out something else. There is the anniversary of the death of the King on the 13th and 14th, so the bridge public holiday on the 14th of October. So that's, we might sort of see some less traffic around the place. There might be a possibility on that day, but when it gets closer, we'll work something out. 21st sounds like a plan. Okay, cool.
I still think we need to have a little Pattaya trip.
Yep, we've got that. We've got that in the plans. We're just still waiting for the DLT to actually stamp out that physical piece of steel, so he can put it on the back of his motorcycle.
No.
Yeah.
Well, while you're riding, I'll be driving, so.
It's all right. It's all right. Oh, we'll be comfortable too. Don't worry, we'll be comfortable.
Well, I got to bring the golf clubs, so.
Well, we're going to work out how to mic you up so you can be part of the ride crew.
That'll be fine.
Have you got Bluetooth in your car?
No, it's an old car. It's 11 years old.
Okay, so you're going to need a Bluetooth headset into your phone, I guess. So, or you can use cables like that. You can use cables like that; it will work. But you're free.
Well, I have wireless Bluetooth headphones, so no problem.
Yeah, we'll work something out. As long as you can connect to your phone and then connect to Discord, you'll be good. So you can join us and we can chat along the way.
Good. Hey, I have some news.
What's that?
Maroon 5 is going to be here in December.
Who?
But I think it's sold out already. Maroon 5.
That's a group, isn't it?
Yeah, they're really worldwide, hugely popular.
Moves like Jagger, was it? Moves like Jagger.
I know the song, but I thought they were still a band. I thought they were a 90s band, weren't they?
They've been
They're
around for a
huge.
while.
They're still
but they're
hugely
huge.
popular.
And they're still popular, really?
Oh yeah.
So,
Oh yeah.
yeah. Obviously, they obviously don't do rock music anymore because I don't hear them anymore.
I just asked Tick if she wanted to go, and she said they're sold out. The tickets went on sale yesterday, so I'm going to.
Really? Hmm.
Roses coming in
Somebody will scalp them.
October.
Which ones?
Guns N' Roses are coming in October.
Are they?
Here?
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh,
Cool.
we got to get tickets.
I don't know Thailand Paul's just confirmed it with me. I don't know the details, but I did get a pop-up, but I didn't get a chance to look at it in detail.
Can anybody on this call help us find out how to get tickets? Where to go?
There we go. We get everybody working on it. So where do you get tickets from? I can start searching, but let somebody else do the job.
I'm gonna start searching right now.
I'm on it.
We're a team, guys. We're a team. Well, it's not me. It's a team. What I'm going to do with that Streamlabs bot, I think I'm going to increase his spam timeouts. Give him a few more minutes, give him an extra 5 minutes between messages, I think. But he seems to be doing his job all right. I don't know who. Did he delete the bot? When
I
did
did.
he? Oh, you did.
Yeah.
Because
I
he
was
should.
multitasking.
He should have deleted it after 5 anyway. I'm not quite sure what the
Okay.
rule is.
Oh shit!
Looks
They just
like-
went on. They wanted sale the 28th. Let's see if they're sold out.
Paul's saying they're about 5,000 or 6,000 baht ticket.
Yeah, it goes up to about 7.
Really, Jesus.
Okay.
They love sticking it to you.
That's not too bad.
Yeah, back in November. They're coming to you
Oh,
guys.
November. Okay.
Yeah.
But if it's like the recent football game, I'll wait till the day of the actual concert to go there and get free tickets.
Yeah, it's SGC Stadium in Bangkok, 9th of November.
Mm-hmm.
It's all tied to you, Mark. That's it. It's 5 to 6K a ticket. That seems really, really. I don't know, when was the last concert I went to? That would have been Floyd in when was that? 86?
That's 80.
86, and those tickets back then were like $90 in 86 or something. And that was about when I said I'm never going on to the concert again, even though it was a brilliant concert.
Okay.
I wasn't spending that money for them because I think they were going up to 120. I think when tickets got to $120 a ticket in Australia for typical bands, I said it's a joke.
Yeah.
You know.
Average price in Australia for a sort of mainline band now is about $150 to $170 for general.
So 6K a ticket again that's $200. Where's the Thai pricing on that? That's ridiculous.
All
What was
right,
that?
so if you want to stand, it's 5,500 to 7,000, and then the first best seating reserved 6,500.
Wow.
No way I'm standing. I'm a little too old for that shit.
Well,
Mosh
yeah,
pit, mosh
that is
pit.
Australian price.
Let's see. Oh damn it! I gotta sign in with Facebook. All right. Well, we'll see if they're still available later.
Yeah, a little bit of research for the rest of the day. What else have we got going on today? Yeah. Anyway, yeah. So yeah, well, when we get bikes sort of sorted out, then we'll be doing a road trip. I think
Oh, yeah.
that's definitely sort of on
Oh,
the
yeah.
cards, and we're going to see a bit more of a 2-day forecast to make sure we're not going to ride into a big rain score. Because every time I've only been to Pattaya like 6 times in the 6 years here, and every time we've driven to Pattaya it rained. You know, that was just good planning.
It's,
People have seen in the recent news that was the big water yet to drain.
Yeah.
Occurred big time in Bangkok last week, and I got caught in the middle of it. Walking to the cab last night, Wazza, my left shoe had a blowout.
Did
I
it?
need to go get some shoes.
You're going to get a pair of those skulls that I've got. They're
Yeah.
brilliant. You're going to get a pair of those.
I want to get a pair of those, but
Yeah.
the flood water, and I don't know what was in that water or whatever, has just completely disintegrated my shoes.
No, I think that's typically what happens with shoes here in Thailand. They don't make them very waterproof. They do wear out very quickly.
Yeah,
I
so
thought it was
alright.
his flip flop.
No, we call them thongs, but
Yeah.
I have a pair, but they're the leather ones I bought at that market when I first got here. But they're sort of like my good ones, so I could get a set of going out. Doesn't matter if I get wet ones. So,
Mm.
but yeah, no,
Right,
those ones.
I got 3 pairs of good shoes, or 4 pairs of good shoes, 1 pair of decent, all-purpose shoes. I've got my riding boots, and I've got my my flip-flop thongs, which those things wear out every 2 years. And I've got these skulls, and I wear the skulls. They're pretty much the only shoes I wear now, because they're just multi-purpose everywhere. Dress thongs. That's what we need. Somebody needs to dress the designer thongs, designer flip-flops.
There's a song about that.
Is there?
Flip-flop. Wasting away again in Margaritaville. Searching for my long-lost Jigger song.
Yeah. Was that Jimmy Buffett? Jimmy Buffett?
Jimmy Buffett.
That's right.
Awesome.
That's his big song.
Thongs at latest tide, 60 baht. They last for a long time. There you go.
Oh, well, there's a Tesco up the top of Sai Ha, so I can go up there.
Yeah, Mark works in steel cap thongs.
Thongs.
Here's your little update. In Brisbane, Gunners are going to be for an unrestricted first elevated on the floor, $368 a ticket.
Jesus Christ.
Yep.
It's getting ridiculous to listen to music.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's in front of the stage. First slight elevation. Yeah, $368 a ticket. Be reserved.
Mhm.
What's it
My-
like at one of these concerts for the Thai people? Do they sing along, or
I have no idea, but the thing that I would be concerned about, normally when you go to a concert, like it's 22 to 24 degrees Celsius inside the concert hall. If it's an outside concert, it's usually sort of spring or autumn, You never have one in winter, you never have one in summer, in Australia, and the temperature is perfect. What are you going to do here in Thailand? Is it inside? Is it going to be how are they going to air condition a concert hall that big? And then secondly is, if it's an outside concert, it's going to get sticky, isn't it? Sticky and clammy and
Quite humid.
I wonder how they'd go. It's weird.
you got all those beach concerts down in Pattaya, huh?
Never been to one. I know they exist. Yeah.
I used to work in a stadium before COVID for a couple of years. I used to go to concerts, and the Puerto Rican concerts were always the best, like Bad Bunny and that, because the hotties would come out dressed to the nines.
Right. Okay. Right. Okay.
And they'd all sing along at the concert too. They were big fans of the groups that were playing, and everybody. Of course, it was all in Spanish, but it was fun. They were a fun crowd.
Isn't there where I am? Where's the time? Is this what I'm looking for?
We've got about 11 minutes.
Yeah, I'm just doing some back because I'm just checking the tire quickly. I didn't turn on timestamps. Let me turn on timestamps so that I can actually see the timestamps. Trying to work out how the timing's working for the Streamlabs bot and how that's 5 minutes, 5 minutes, 5 minutes. There was a 10-minute one. That was the DIA. Okay. I'm going to go through this thing at some stage and just look at those frequencies and see how they work and get the best way to set that up. But it looks like it's all working properly. That's the main thing. Moving ahead. Okay. Well, what are we going to do now? We've run out of things. We've got 5 people here in the chat. We've run out of things to say.
Hey, Q&A, fire away. Oh, back to school yesterday after 3 weeks break.
Oh yeah, you did this,
Which was
yes.
awesome. It was sort of just things piled upon like I was well, and then the next teacher I had, unfortunately, she had an accident, and then the next lesson I was meant to have, that replacement teacher got COVID, and then about 1 month after my last lesson, I went back to another lesson yesterday, and she was a fill-in teacher, and it was absolutely awesome. So, and it's not, the frustrating thing is every time you get a new crew, you have to explain where you're up to and what you like to do, and that normally takes 15 to 20 minutes, and I've got 2 hours, so, but yesterday it was sort of like, after the quick introduction, asking each other our names, how we're feeling, what are we up to. She spoke to me in Thai for about 10 minutes, because I always think, shit, I'm going to jump my day, forget what I've learned. But after 5 minutes, she's going, Kun Pod, Kut, what you say, Chan, Asa Angry, Nitnoy, Arai Crap, like, can I speak a little bit of English, please? And we spoke English for about 10 minutes. She said, no, we're not doing this. You've done chapter 1, chapter 2 of Journey 2. We're on to chapter 3 now. Let's go.
Yep.
And it was on. I loved it. So
Good.
But the thing is, I'm not getting her the next lesson, so I've got to start again. But it's good because you actually get to practice the real stuff. If I was going to meet someone at a restaurant, or if I was going to meet relatives of someone, you've actually got that pretty well down packed, which is the basis of making a Thai person feel comfortable talking to you. And that's the best thing. So I've got no qualms with what the school's doing at all. We revert back to the textbook just so I can see how it's spelled and everything like that, but we'll not stop learning. It's absolutely awesome. So if you want to know which school it is, I don't know whether I can mention it publicly or not, was it? But,
Oh, you can. It's Duke Language School. Yeah.
Duke Language School in Sukhumvit.
Give them a plug.
So,
prices seem quite reasonable. Yeah, the pricing. There's nothing really untoward in the pricing. I've looked at it.
Yeah, they've been so flexible, and and one thing that you and I know is I really dig into communication, and their communication channels have been absolutely awesome. So can't say anything bad about it. Not at all. So
the only thing I felt uncomfortable with the Duke language system is the fact you've either got to do the online model, or you've got to choose the in-person model. You know, if they had one where you have a course, and you could either turn up or do it remotely, would be perfect. That would suit me fine. You know, but unfortunately,
you can't mix and match. It's either one or the other.
I know. I can understand their position on that too, so it's not a big deal. But you know,
well, I did ask about that, and they explained it to me. Like, if you do the in-class section, that's a different class
to the online
than the online class. So where they are up in the learning process of each chapter and everything's going to be completely different. So to swap and change.
Yeah. I totally understand that part of it. Yeah.
But with the online course, it was awesome. You get a group dynamic, and you work out who you can bounce off with and everything like that. And, I've spoken to Cody about it. We've had similar teachers.
It depends on the class dynamics. Like, it really, different students in your class makes a huge difference in what you're going to get out of it. Maybe not what you're going to get out of it, but how fun the class is.
Atmospherics, yeah.
Really depends on the other students in your class too. Like there's good teachers that are good, but it helps if the rest of the students are engaged too. So my recommendation is, Duke's a good school. Just if you're really wanting to learn Thai, don't go to a school where you've got a bunch of people that look like they're there to only get a visa, because it'll drag everything down. And you can usually go to these schools. Usually have like a trial day, so you can go and sit in a class for a day and see how things are.
Yeah, but I found that with that first.
I ran a course.
Yeah.
So how's your class? Are you doing in person or online at the moment, Cody?
I'm doing in person.
In person.
I've been doing in person for the last 2 months, and then Monday I start a new in-person class.
And you feel that's better, do you?
I do. It depends. Okay, and this is gonna sound weird, but right now, it depends on how the room is laid out. So when I was having good time online, and the thing in Thailand, everybody's still wearing masks, for the most part. Anyway, if you go into class, you can't see like the mouth of the teacher, so you can't see like her enunciate. Whereas if you do it online, you can. The other part about this is the way one of the classrooms was laid out was like a traditional school setup where you have rows of desks, and that sucked because, and this could be because of where I was sitting, and I was sitting fairly in the middle of the class, but some of the students were talking very quietly in the front of the class, so I could hear the teacher's response to what they were saying, but I couldn't hear the actual student
Question,
talk.
yeah.
So I was getting half the conversation. Whereas the last 2 classes I've taken, they have the desks laid out in a U, so you're like facing each other, which is way better. Way better. I can't state how much better it is just having the desk layout different. So that's my feeling about it.
Yeah, okay.
Is in class is better, but it depends on the layout. So
it's highly recommended that you learn some sort of level of Thai if you're going to plan to stay here. Even though I don't learn Thai, I don't learn Thai at all. But that's I'm just the exception to the rule. I won't speak Thai.
I mean, here's the deal: if you have a significant other, and your life is pretty much like the complications of your life are pretty much set up, like you can get by without knowing Thai in Thailand. However, if you don't have a significant other, or you're not like immediately planning on having a long-term relationship, then I think and it depends on your degree of like wanting to deal with things in Thailand. Like if you don't care about like 7-Eleven and their stupid points system, you can only really ask about that in Thai. So, and again, like you make an interesting point, like order food and getting a taxi. Like, so in a lot of places, the taxis, if you speak English, will charge you one price, but if you speak Thai, they'll charge you a different price. So what you get out of being here is definitely different. Google Translate has come a long way, but it is far from perfect, and I can tell you that looking at the words that it chooses, sometimes when you type in I want to say this, but then Google Translate says this, it's like this is a really unnatural way of saying that. So yeah, just keep that in mind. Again, you can live here without knowing Thai. It is absolutely possible, but it depends on your choice and what you want.
Exactly. Yeah. I should do that more often. I should put the focus on the people when they're talking as well. I'm a bit slack when I should. It looks a bit more professional. I might start doing that from next week. You never know. Rain, it's a animation screen. I just put into mine. I make these little animations, little loop animations for my. Yeah. Everybody else is using the ones that are in the Discord. Cody's just got a picture for him. That's it, and that's right. Your room looks cool.
Natural.
This looks like a man cave. Yes. Anyway, it is that time. Look at that, just gone on the 1 minute, 1 hour mark. There we go. Anyway, so that's our little tete-a-tete for today, and we've had some fun again. And great to have everybody join us along, and great to see my bots working. I'm setting up, of course, to do streaming into Twitch at the moment to get the gaming, because we've got Star Citizen. That's what we're going to go do now. We're going to try to figure out what's broken in my Star Citizen, right, and try to get that fixed. I believe I'm going to delete my user folder, which is going to work out all the shit I've got to save. You know how it goes. Anyway, I'm out of here. I'm going to find the closing screen. We'll stick around here after you guys disappear, but if you want to come and join us, the Discord link's in the chat there somewhere. Should be, isn't it? Oh, no, it's not in. Yeah, you did put it. Yeah, but it is just down below. So drop one in. Anyway, closing screen. Out of here. Bye. Peace out.
I put a link in, useful links, I guess, over here.